All right, we're going into the 2024 ICAST show. Myself, Jake Cotta, and lead buyer, senior buyer, Joey Reggio. Who knows what it is? We're gonna go walk around the 2024 ICAST show and check out all the new stuff. I believe we got about 20 or 30 booths to go to, so we got some segments to check out.
I don't know what we're doing. I'm just following you.
I know. We're gonna go just walk around the show and check stuff out and see what they got this year. So do a nice hot lap around the show, check out all the new stuff. So follow us along.
I got my step counter on.
Oh, we need to test the mic. Tom, test the mic. Test. Can you hear me? Are we good? Sound check's good?
Sound check.
All right, we're
What
dialed.
about me, Dan? You
We
good
good?
to go? Check, check.
Yep.
All right.
Don't
We made
fall
it
off
down.
the escalator.
Yeah, watch your step. And we're in. I think we got a little bit of hoof over to Shimano.
Shimano.
We're gonna start off at Shimano.
Holy cow, we do have a hoof.
So here it is, ICAST show.
Beautiful.
Oh, we're here in the Shimano booth. What's up? So one thing we did want to check out are these BFS rods that Shimano's got in the new Zodias line.
Brand
which
new.
are really nice. The actions on them are like, what do you want for the BFS rod?
Sure.
I know you're the biggest proponent of the BFS fishing, but I'm stoked about the Zodias because I love the price point and the performance of these things.
Yep. So that I feel like Shimano has had some really good, at least in the US, some really good like 7 to 8 pound test BFS rods, but nothing that can really carry that 4 to 6 pound.
Is that what that one is?
This is the 7.2. I love throwing a shaky head on this rod, but if I tried to throw 4 to 6 pound, I'm gonna break it off every time. I think you have the 7-foot light, is that right?
Yeah.
And that is really a gorgeous BFS rod.
So if you're looking for new BFS rods, we got the new Zodias from Shimano. They got some other new rods too, these Adrenas. I'm gonna snag one. So
I wanna grab one too.
Yeah, these things, I didn't really get this jig and worm model. Dude, it's crazy light. Just the actions on these are really cool, but I didn't really get to appreciate these yesterday when we were talking to Matt and Tim with them. And you want to get it actually in your hand and flex it, but man, the overall weight of these things is nice.
They're super light, they're super pretty, tons of great actions, and there's a super hot deal on the old ones on the clearance page. So if you might want to check those out.
Yeah, if you're looking for a deal, head on over to tacklewarehouse.com.
That being said, these new ones are rad. So.
Yeah, that handle on it is sweet. So I've never got to fish with a rod with one of these handles. I'd be pretty interested to try it out and
the
see
monocoque design,
and see what the sensitivity is actually like. But that's
Dan. You can actually see you can see the hole in the rod. It's hollow in there.
That's
right?
cool.
And so the whole idea is that's going to transfer the feel of the bite or any feedback from the rod, give you tons of sensitivity.
Be cool to try it out. New rods from Shimano. We're gonna go check out some reels now.
Let's go.
Yeah, they're cool.
We got our buddy Alex Davis over here, and we got the new Shimano Vanford. I bet there's been more excitement about this reel than probably most of the other reels this year at ICAST. New spinning reel from Shimano.
Yeah, so we got to check this out a little bit yesterday. The Vanford, of course, is the heir to the Stratic CI4 throne. I mean, couldn't be a bigger staple in bass fishing spinning reels. And given that this is the year of the Jighead Minnow and the year of the spinning reel, right? This is definitely going to be one of the biggest launches in the durable category for rod and reel stuff.
Totally.
I know there's a lot of people that have Vanfords on their boat and a lot of people that are going to be looking for what the new one brings. I think we learned yesterday there's 4 new technologies trickled down from Stella that are in this new Vanford.
And you could feel it in there. I mean, I checked the one out in the Best of Show, their silent tune technology, how smooth this thing is.
Yeah.
And I love they keeping that sweet like charcoal black and red cosmetics. It's just an ultra sharp looking reel there from Shimano. Couldn't be more stoked about that one adding to the line.
Really badass
Whole
looking.
range of sizes, inclooing the the little guy.
Yeah, and I think we're actually stocking these little guys now. So if you're a trout guy, if you're a crappie fisherman, if you like some 2 and 4 pound test, I'm looking at this guy right now.
I love it.
Definitely some good options there for you. And we also have something on the bait casting side, right?
UXT.
So you're looking at it. Your hands on it.
Yeah.
Can I grab one?
No, yeah, I grabbed a lefty. I know you don't want this one.
No, I don't want that one.
Yeah, I grabbed lefties, but I know they got them in right and left, which is super helpful. I think we got them in all the gear ratios too, right and left.
Yeah.
So they got us all covered. Us lefties aren't getting left out.
Yep. Left.
Left, right,
out.
left. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
That's not a funny joke.
But these are another staple in the Shimano line, and I think performance pack for $129, I believe, is the retail price on them.
We'll have to fact check that, but
it's close to that.
Whatever the retail price is on these, it's a great deal.
Yeah.
And really beautiful cosmetics, a workhorse. You're getting all that great Shimano performance and durability at a super affordable price point, and really a gorgeous looking reel.
I have an XT, one of the last generations, and it feels really similar as far as like frame sizing. But I know internally there's some significant upgrades on the inside.
Yeah.
So you're getting some new features, and I believe the price point about stays the same.
Yeah.
So already a great performing reel, just getting even better from Shimano.
Awesome.
So,
well, we got to keep the train moving, right?
Yeah, we got to keep going. We're slightly ahead of schedule. We're going to try to keep it that way.
Should I put this in my pocket before
I
we
don't
walk
think
away?
anyone saw that
Somebody
one.
going to shoot me?
But,
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we're going to run right over the Jackall booth next.
All right, we're here. Oh, I want to talk.
I want to talk.
We're here at Jackall, and we got some really cool, innovative new products, right? So in the Jighead Minnow category, right, we got the new Driftfry and the Driftfry Mellow.
Yeah, and this one came out earlier in the year, and good luck getting your hands on one.
Right.
I mean, if you really want one of these, you better be pre-ordered, signed up for in-stock notifications, the whole thing, because I don't know how many we've had, but I haven't even got my hands on one myself, and I work in the warehouse. Yeah.
You want to guess if I've got some?
Yeah, you got zero.
No, I've got some.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical that I get some and you get none.
Exactly.
Yeah. So really weird and innovative little lip on there. You rig that thing on a jig head, and you shake that thing. That lip is going to impart that rocking side-to-side action. Just kind of a really interesting. There's kind of nothing else like it in the minnow category right now.
And this really it reminds me of the old pintail minnow they used to make, which I was a huge fan and very sad they discontinued it a long time ago. But the detailing on that thing, this is one of, we see a lot of minnow baits, and this one has got a lot more detail and a lot more lifelike attributes to it than a lot of ones on the market.
And it is so soft.
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 And I know there's the Mellow one. I think this one's even softer than that one.
Can I hold it?
Check it out.
I don't know. They're both pretty soft, man.
And it's and they're decently heavy for how small they are too.
Yeah.
And the colors are phenomenal. You can't get any better than that. It's just not a regular old poured plastic. I don't know how they get the finishes on the outside of those things, but they look great.
You're excited about these.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about something else that's been hard to get. The riser baits, right? So two new colors in the riser baits. The secret's out on these. Everybody's trying to get one.
Yeah, and I love all the chrome baits.
Yeah, you do.
So there's a new chrome color, and I forgot the name of that color, but
this is pretty in pink with the gold bill. I don't know what it's called either.
We should rename it on the website to that. Yeah. But it's almost like a bone finish, it's almost like a matte bone, and it's got a little bit of flake on there.
And then that pink belly. I think that's really cool.
I like the little added touch, just a pop of color to give the fish something to hone in on.
Yeah. So this riser bait is really in that straight reel, impart a little action. This is essentially a top water bait for schooling fish that are on bait.
And there's just not much like it that does this.
No.
So everyone's got a popper and a walking bait, but this is something that's totally unique.
Yep, and something we were talking about yesterday with Tactical Bassin is like what bait fish actually do. They don't do this. They don't sit there and pop.
No.
They go beep, 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 beep,
and
right across the surface.
If you've ever been out and seen schooling fish, you know exactly what they do, and that's what this bait does.
Yeah, so really cool. Now, the last one we got from Jackall, this new counterback spoon. I'm really excited about this. I love throwing a flutter spoon, but this one does something really, really different. Hey, Ariel, can you grab me that one right there?
And
it's just too pretty.
So what we learned yesterday is this counterback, it actually dives back pretty far. So you can get it, I didn't think of the applications, until Matt brought it up, but like bluff walls. And where we fish at, there's tons of bluff walls in certain areas. And I know from when the lake was down, there is a lot of those overhanging ledges that you could probably never get a bait into. So super interesting thing to try, and I'd never thought about. You know, I always throw them out in the middle, and probably why I don't catch many things on them sometimes. But just thinking of different ways to kind of to utilize these. You know, if you're on a Tennessee River lake or any lake with a ton of docks, you can slide those things under docks and get that nice, you know, fluttering action down there.
Sure.
Like actually slide it in there where the fish are at and not just out front.
So we talked about undercut banks. We talked about docks. Yeah, great applications. I mean, for me, the first thing I thought about is when you're on a wad of fish, you found them on side scan or you find them on forward facing, and you know, you're throwing that flutter spoon, that flutter spoon's working towards you, right?
Oh, yes.
So this thing is going to stay on the fish until
keep going back
you
to
trigger
them.
one of those knuckleheads, and then they go nuts.
That
right?
is a great point because, you know, traditionally if you wanted to keep your bait on a wad of fish, you'd have to be directly over them.
Right.
But now you can stay off the fish and not spook them and just kind of keep irritating them until you get one of them just aggravated enough to strike this thing.
Really cool. Comes with a dress. Treble, awesome, ready to go right out the pack.
And
it's got that
swivel.
nice Teflon finish. And yeah, like you said, a swivel on the front. You don't have to do anything other than tie this thing on.
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
And great little
Definitely.
3D eyes on there.
Yeah.
Really nice looking spoon. Not just your regular old plain spoon.
Yep, all right. That's enough from Jackall. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's go. All right.
Yo, we're in the Abu Garcia booth. We're coming
excuse
to
me.
check out some brand new reels. Let's follow us.
Hey, get out of the way.
Hey,
Get out of the way.
Let's get out of the way. Let's get out of the way. Come on.
We need the premiere.
We need a Revo premiere.
No, we need the premiere first. Dan.
You guys are not getting the premiere right now. I'm telling you right now. There it is.
The brand new Abu Garcia Revo
We
premiere.
win.
Where are you?
Yeah, we beat you.
No, seriously.
Why? We're moving over here. We're moving over here.
Brand new Abu Garcia Revo premiere. This is the next generation of the top of the line, right? From
Yeah.
Abu. Really, really cool. That was goofy.
Oh, we're messing them up for sure.
Yeah, oh, totally.
But they should have
messing
stayed
them
on
up.
schedule.
Yep, absolutely. So awesome cosmetics. Little carbon fiber handle. Badass looking black,
Dude,
red,
that was the
and
first thing
gray.
I noticed is that giant handle on it and those big knobs, because they did that, I believe, last year with the Rocket, that giant carbon handle. I was like, this thing just has like some serious crank power. Like, it's got more meat on it to grab on and really crank on fish. If you're looking for something for like maybe flipping or punching, just gives you just a little more leverage and like a little baby little knob on there.
Yeah.
I like a lot.
Yeah, it does look really cool, and in terms of performance and durability, it doesn't get better than this.
Not
right?
with the Premiers are top of the line reel, and I believe they're on the 5th generation of it, and every single one of them's been a winner.
Yep.
And then they've also got all the new Veritas rods. So here's one of the new LTDs. I didn't realize the LTDs have that more of a gray finish, and then all the regular Veritas has the kind of the white finish to it. But man, talk about a lineup. I mean, how many Veritases there are? There's the LTDs. They have the regular Veritas Winch series for cranking.
Toros for all your big stuff.
And they got bait finesse in that series as well. So if you're looking for a bait finesse rod at a great price, they got it covered in that one. So huge range there. And then right next to it over on that booth, we got our buddy.
Let me just put this stuff
All right,
down.
I'll take it.
We can talk about it.
But we got the Ike rods and reels. So here's one of the rods. So
And there's
hey, there he is right here.
What do you know?
Hey,
Good.
What the heck?
are you
Hey,
in with those guys?
What just happened?
Can you get us one of your reels?
Of course I can.
What? Can you come right back with it?
You want it now?
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Spinning in cast?
Yeah, sure. Come on over here.
Well, we were going to talk. Jake and I were going to talk all about
Look
these.
who we got.
But if the man here himself is here to talk about his
Wow.
own. Yeah,
Hi,
you
guys.
like that?
I like that.
Give
Yeah.
us the quick rundown.
Okay, quick rundown. So super excited. Ike Series 3.0. Going through and not just coming out with a rod and putting new graphics on it, actually rethinking the rods, rethinking the reels. Super excited about it. So
Sweet.
on the rods, we've got the 3 models like before. Delay, power, and finesse. They're all called out, right? So on the delay, it's green. You see delay
right there.
on the bottom with the green, and of course the green accents.
Oh, cool.
Power silver, finesse is purple. So, visually looking down at your deck and saying, that's the rod I need.
Right.
The rods on the power and finesse side, We've got rods that are graphite, super sensitive, super strong. But on that one, dude, that one's special. So that one is
We had a sample this one. It is special.
It's special because it's a composite material. It's
Yeah.
a blend of graphite and glass.
Yeah.
And you know, treble hook lures where you want a little delay in the hook set. When you want, dude, when he's out there and that fish is jumping and fighting, you want a rod that gives.
Yeah.
So the delay series is very parabolic. The guides, big update on the guides. Okay, stainless guides with zirconium inserts. Dude, no more porcelain. Get away from the porcelain because I'm sick of guides that break, right?
I'm sure you're probably a little harder on your gear
I'm
than
hard on
most
stuff.
people.
I'm hard on stuff. So,
I wonder who breaks more stuff in a year. Well, at least in a day of fishing, because you probably fish about 200 days more than I do in a year, but
I break a lot of stuff.
I break a lot
Yeah,
of
the
stuff.
guys who break the most stuff.
I break a lot of
Keeping the
stuff.
warranty service busy.
Right.
I break a lot of stuff. So guides were important, and also it's a mid-size guide. So you see on most rods, you see a standard guide or a micro. This is an in-between guide. It's a mid-size guide, and you're going to see that on casting and spinning. I want to talk about the reel seat real quick, guys, because this is all updated, all new. I tasked them. I said, guys, we want a lighter rod that fits in your hand, but I want it to be more sensitive. And here's the way we did it. We got rid of a lot of material, so you're going to notice a lot less EVA foam. But look at the finger grips carved out. Like literally will fit into your hand, disappears in your hand. And then look at the cutouts. Guys, this is all new right here. Cutting that regular plastic, getting to the rod, increasing sensitivity.
Yeah.
That was awesome. All right, here's the best part on the rods, and then I'll talk about the reels.
All right.
Better rod, more sensitive, lower price point on the rods.
Everyone
Lower
likes
price
that.
point. Everybody likes that. All right, of course, couldn't have a rod without a reel, so totally redesigned reels. We have 2 casting, left and right, so we have a 6-4-1 and a 7-1-1. So if you're high-speed fishing, if you're low-gear cranking, we got a reel for you. We've got 9 ball bearing reel on both of them. Of course, the cosmetics match. On the casting, a couple unique features. Ready for this? Audible drag system on the casting reel. Dude, that was big. For years, I'm like, you had it on spinning. Why don't you have it on casting, right? Because you can hear the happy spot where your drag should be, right? No more broke fish, you know, you really know where your drag's at. And then the handles. If you notice on both of the spinning and the casting, redesigned handle and grip, okay? So this is, you're not gonna find this handle on any other Abu reel, and the grip is a round EVA foam grip. The thing I like about that is no matter where you grab it, you know, if you make the cast and you grab it, if you scratch your butt and you go back to grab your reel, and that happens, you scratch your butt occasionally.
Your butt gets itchy.
It does
happens.
get itchy.
Yeah.
You're always in the right position. And being a round reel, you got 360 grip on it, right? Not 180 grip, 360 grip on that reel. On the spinning, real quick, two unique call outs on it. We've got the drop shot keeper on the side of that reel.
Very nice.
You're going to see that on a lot of like.
That hits that scratches the nice
It
nerve
does,
in
doesn't
his
it?
brain. Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
You're going to see that on a lot of reels that are like $500 to $1,000. This is a regular priced reel with the drop shot keeper. Last but not least, I've been waiting for this my whole entire career. We got rid of the anti-reverse button on the bottom of the spinning reel.
The drags are so nice
Dude,
now. You don't
you
need
don't
it.
need it. Who back reels anymore? And if you back reel, go get like a reel from 1920. You don't need this reel. So we got rid of that, so it's not in the way, and it lightened up the reel. So super excited, guys, about
And
this
no
whole.
chance of you accidentally flicking it on. You know.
Can't flick it on. You can't flick it off. It's one less thing to break.
Yep.
It's a great fun.
Awesome. They match up beautifully with the rods.
Yes, they do.
You know, we've been waiting for a revision to the Ike series for a while. I know you have too.
I have too.
It got delayed a little bit, but it's here. We're really excited to bring that to everybody. Those are available for pre-order right now on the site. And then I want to let you know about a little project that you and I have been working on for 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we have a Tackle Warehouse exclusive reel coming out.
Yes.
Yes. And look, he's just finding out about it right now.
I don't even know.
Yeah, this is the Abu Garcia Tac Z.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. We're not
Yes.
going to tell you much more about it right now, but I think we're looking to drop this in October. It's going to be really, really cool. There's going to be there's going to be, a community aspect to it. There's going to be some really cool like apparel that goes with it.
It's awesome.
We're going to tie you into it.
That's awesome. Well, I love Tackle Warehouse. I love Abu Garcia. You combine those two things, and I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, we're stoked. And we barely just got the first one.
Yeah.
We barely have the first production one. So
yeah, I think we have it here.
We're pretty, yeah.
Maybe we'll show you guys.
Yeah.
Gotta see that thing. That's awesome.
Jake, I think that's it from the Abu Garcia
That's
booth.
it.
We got to go.
Dude, thank you, Ike, for taking
Thank
time
you
to
guys,
talk to
man.
us.
It's great seeing
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yep.
Have fun.
Let's roll.
All right,
Bye,
next
guys.
booth. Hey, we're here in the Berkley booth.
We're here.
We got some cool stuff to talk about and some stuff we just saw. Oh, they took our other bait away. We're gonna get that back. But some cool new stuff from the Berkley booth. We got the new Drip Minnow and Drip Swimmer, and there's also a Berkley Fusion 19 Jighead that perfectly matches up with those. So we got them in a couple sizes. So I believe that one's got the little swimmer tail on it. So if you're looking for something that's got, you know, just a little bit more action, but if you want that more finesse presentation, you got the Minnow bait with that kind of just like a bulb on the tail.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna, you know, quiver in the strike zone. But two different models, and these things do look phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the best part, they smell like
Oh yeah.
old school power bait.
Old school power bait. Dan, you want to smell this thing?
Yeah, smell it, Dan.
Yeah.
Smell it.
Does it smell good?
Not bad.
That
It's
smells
like
fishy.
it's like that 1985 tackle shop. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's what you want right there.
And like you said, there's a little Berkley Fusion 19 Jighead that matches up with that. I heard a really interesting point the other day. I can't remember. It was somebody that had just won or done really well on a
And you're gonna break the
Hold
glass.
Hold that up for me a second.
All right, we got it.
What they were saying was that Jighead looks teeny tiny to me compared to the bait.
Yes.
But what they were finding was that with a bigger hook, it was folding in their mouth when the fish would eat it, and you were hooking them off center. And with the smaller hook, it was pegging them right in the top of the mouth every time in the hardest meat where you want to hook that fish, and they were landing a lot more fish with the smaller hook.
I never would have thought of that because sometimes when I see that smaller, a little bit shallower gap on a hook, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I got enough on there.
Right.
And I'm probably doing myself a disservice by I need something with a bigger hook on there, and then probably ruining the action of a lot of baits.
Right. So anyway, these look really cool. Like you said, they come in a little swimmer, a little pintail. That's the Drip, and they come in a bunch of different sizes. Really cool colors. The Jighead to match. That's enough on Jighead minnows. Let's talk about a swim bait.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, thank God. So the Unrigged CullShad, which I'm a huge fan of this one because I think there's not a lot of times where I'm throwing a swim bait. You know, if you have that treble hook harness on the bottom, which is great, it lands fish, and if you're just covering water, I mean that's definitely the way to go and increase your hookup odds. But personally, I don't feel like there's a lot of times when that even if I'm just running the bank, I'm not going to throw it by a log or a rock or a piece of cover where that hook is going to get me fouled up. Where there's always going to be an opportunity to throw that thing into a piece of cover.
Yeah.
And now you can put that screw lock in there and get it through, which is I'm always a big fan of that big screw lock hook.
Yep.
It gets through everything, and I feel like I don't have a problem hooking them with those big screw locks.
No, often I'll take those hooks and I'll just bend them up just a hair.
Yeah.
You don't sacrifice a lot of weedlessness,
No.
but you put the hooks in them just about every
And
time.
on these ones too, they do have that hook slot in the back, so
Yep.
that's going to hide that hook point really good in there. So you're not going to
Absolutely.
have any problems with maintaining that perfectly weedless profile and
Yeah.
just getting it through cover, which I think is hugely beneficial. That big profile, all the great colors, the great swimming action, but now you can fish this thing in and out of nasty cover.
Yep, and compared to say like a Kitech, the first thing I thought when I saw particularly this size was a big swim jig. So my go-to on that is a Kitech. This would be a different look with a little more meat to the body and a
it's
different
more
style
durable.
tail.
I mean, so some of the ring body style swim baits are always loaded with scent and salt,
Yep.
and you blow through those pretty quickly, especially when you're running a hook shank through the middle of the body. and a bass twists that up in their mouth. I mean, something like that that's heavy duty plastic.
Sure.
So you're gonna be able to catch quite a few more fish on this thing.
Yep, really cool. That's an unrigged CullShad from Berkley. We got some jerkbaits too,
Yeah.
additions to the Stunna series.
Yeah, and these are great too. I mean, the Stunna series has been highly successful.
Yep.
Won a lot of big tournaments, but now they're just giving you guys some more offerings. So they got a little smaller one, these 100s. So there's a 100, and then there's a 100 plus one. So giving you 2 different depth ranges. I believe this one's probably going to run like that 4 to 5 foot, and this is going to be one that gets you in that 6 to 8 foot range.
Yeah.
Gets you down a little bit deeper, and a new even deeper diver of the 112.
Yeah, I love that 112 size, or that, you know, the 112 plus 2 size. You know, people, youngins like you might not remember that before the Ito Vision was king.
Yeah.
The Pointer 100 was king, and I really still love that 100 size.
I'm still the biggest Pointer fanboy. I don't know how many hundreds of them I have in my garage.
All right.
But I mean, I love that you're getting that size jerkbait down into that deeper range. I don't know what the depth, the exact specs are, but I think it's going to give you like 10 to 12 feet of depth down there. So just getting down to that next level of fish, which I also think it's crucial for if you fish a lot of reservoirs that are deep, steep walled, especially if you fish in California. There's not many banks that you fish that are going to be 5 foot of depth, you know, that are 40 feet off the bank. I mean, they drop off pretty abruptly, and I think that just gives you a better working range to be more effective out there.
Something forward-facing sonar has really shown me is that unless fish are really active, the likelihood that they're going to travel real far to come get your bait is pretty low. So in the majority of times when fish are not actively feeding, coming up 6, 8, 10 feet to smash your jerkbait, put this in their face, keep it in their face, get that bite.
You have to get down to
that's all new sizes and depths on the Stunna, the 100 and 112. Last, we have forward braid.
I didn't even...
Do we need this?
I didn't even know this was coming out, and it was like, what are they doing here?
Yeah. So you know, we've seen forward-facing rods. I don't know if we've seen a forward-facing reel yet, but we have seen a fair amount.
I'm sure
of
someone's going to name
forward-specific line. And where this is really helpful is you know, reduce diameter, so increase casting distance if you need it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes on the forward-facing stuff, you're more limited by your scope range than how far you can cast, but the sensitivity and really the fact that it sinks. So with typical floating braids, you get a big bow in your line as your bait sinks, right, where your line is floating, and you're totally out of touch.
I didn't know it
with your bait.
That's a huge benefit because I've always tried to find new sinking braids, and there's not many of them. I mean, across the market, there's not many of them, and I mean, just pull this stuff out of the spool. This stuff is smooth. It doesn't feel like any other braid out there. I mean, it doesn't even feel like an 8-strand or like a 10-strand.
Well, because it's not. It's a thermally fused fishing line, so super smooth. You know, I think for this, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve with guys that are wanting to learn how to tie it. But once you get that your main forward braid and leader connection dialed, this is going to be a huge advantage for you compared to typical, say a 8-strand braid.
Yeah, better learn that FG knot.
Better. I don't even know what we need to get some education, certainly. I don't know what the best knot would be. I don't know if an FG is going to be the best or
I don't know.
What here. So.
But it's a cool new braid. It's kind of a new concept and just something a little bit different on the market on the braid side of things from Berkley.
Yep. So that's Berkley forward braid. All of this stuff available for pre-order right now. Should we get out of here?
Yep. Let's move on to the next one.
Let's go, man.
All right, we're at the Spro booth. Spro. They've got some cool stuff this year. You've got a couple new crankbaits.
Lots of Spro crankbaits that I really love. And
I've been on your boat and I was like, he's gonna have a few of those. That's a Joey Reg crankbait right there.
So let's talk about this first. You know, I typically ascribe to that mentality of like, go big bait, big bite.
Yeah.
But I have had my eyes open in the last few years to situations where I'm really matching the hatch and catching big fish on little tiny stuff.
Yep.
So this is the micro Little John, right?
45.
45.
Yeah.
So this is a crankbait that a lot of us throw, a lot of us love. Now it's in a little tiny size.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say this falls in the BFS category.
No, it's just, I mean, it's a small, finessey crankbait.
Yeah.
I mean, those Little John crankbaits were always a little bit smaller to begin with.
Right.
You know, in the relative, I guess, category of crankbaits they lived in. They were
Yeah.
always a little bit more downsized, which I love that crankbait, that MD size with the little clear bill on it. But that little body and that shape just really produces bites for me.
There's nothing more frustrating than seeing fish blow on bait in front of you,
Yep.
but not having anything small enough to get that bite. This bait is something, you know, it's going to be a situational thing.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be an everyday bite getter, you know, if you just
Yeah.
want to get bites. But there are those certain situations where a tiny little crankbait like this is really going to shine.
I feel like that's been one of the harder things to match. Whenever you get in that situation where there's small bait, there's not a lot of stuff that maintains that like kind of tall shad profile, but is in a small body.
Yeah.
And I feel like they nail it with that one. And then we also got new Hunter 65 MD.
Yeah.
So a little bit deeper diver, but that bigger, more round profile.
Yeah.
So a bigger body crankbait. A little more round profile, so you're gonna get that heavier wobbling action. Gets you down like that 10-foot, kind of that mid section. So you're not on the bank, but you're not out deep on the ledges yet. That in between zone, which is a really crucial zone for a few key times of the year.
Lots of key times of the year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, we think about how many fish live in, say, where's this bait going to shine? That 7 to maybe 13 foot category.
Yeah.
Reasonably on, call it 12 to 14 pound test.
Yeah.
And that wide wobble and the big bill is good. Not knowing what their selling points are, to me,
Yeah.
this looks like a great structure crankbait.
Yep.
This is something I'm gonna be, you know, cranking, lay down wood or
something where you really want to. You're trying to make contact with stuff and bang it into stuff and deflect it,
Sure.
and just something that's going to push a lot of water
Yeah.
and have that just aggressive action.
Sure. So this is not something you're going to pull out if you're trying to hit 20 feet or, you know, if you're trying to crank structure on the bank. This is just going to really shine in that mid depth. Really cool design, really loud rattle. I mean, this is not going to be a subtle bait.
And it's got like that knocker in it too, so it's not like it's not a bunch of BBs in there. So that knock, I think that knock just produces a louder noise that you can hear from farther away.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they've also got a new fluorocarbon, and we were trying to pronounce the name.
I got it dialed.
Raijin. We don't know what it's called.
No, we know what it's called. It's Raijin.
All right, Joey's got it. All right, so super strong and tough fluorocarbon line. So Spro is now adding more offerings into their line category.
Yeah.
I believe we got, the whole range from 6 to 20 pound, everything that you would need for that. But a new premium fluorocarbon. I believe they're bringing this stuff straight over from Japan. They're having a Japanese maker make it, so they're having premium materials included in this line, but a new line now added to the Spro lineup. They got braid. I believe they got some other leader materials, but now a new premium fluorocarbon.
So there was a YouTube personality that did a line test, and Spro line kind of blew the competition away.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. This is news for you.
Yeah.
So we have seen a big increase in our sales and repeat sales of Spro line. Guys are really liking this. I think this one's going to be a hit. That's the brand new Spro Raijin fluorocarbon.
All right.
All this stuff's available for pre-order at Tackle Warehouse. Should we
Keep
go?
moving on. Yeah, we're
let's
gonna move
go,
right
man.
down the way.
All right. We're here at Dirty Jigs to talk about this brand new, awesome grass flipping jig. Isn't that right?
No, we're not. We're here to talk about Jighead minnows.
No, I want to talk about the flipping jig.
No, we got Dirty Jigs has now got a tungsten version of the guppy head, and we actually get to see one now.
Okay.
No thanks to our boys
That is
Matt
cool.
and Tim at Tactical Bassin that forgot.
They forgot the sample.
Yeah, they forgot their own jig head, but we get to see one now. So new tungsten model of the guppy head. So the benefits of tungsten. I don't know what size this is, but it's probably like a 3/16 or quarter ounce, but tiny, tiny little head. Because now you get a tungsten model, way more weight on it.
This one's quarter ounce, and you know, anybody that's spent any time with forward facing knows how that tungsten really shines. You can pick that stuff up way out. And this particular design, the guppy head, has been the go-to for a lot of guys lately.
Yeah.
So you know, you got a little stouter hook, you got a tungsten head. This is really going to be the perfect jig head minnow.
Yeah. And it's
head.
got the HD hook in it.
Yeah.
So it's not really a light wire, but they say it's HD, but I wouldn't put it in like a HD like jig head category.
No.
It's not a flipping jig hook in there, but it's got enough meat on it to where you can throw it on 12 or 15 pound and not worry about bending it out.
So if I say jig head minnow one more time, I'm going to puke. So this is also going to be a great little you know, ball head, not ball head, but it's a little Swimbait head. Just thrown down the bank or what have you.
Finesse A-rig.
Little Finesse A-rig.
Little Charlie rig.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Naughty.
You know, he loves little tungsten jig head.
Yeah.
Now you can get a little Finesse A-rig, get more weight to it.
Charlie's going to love that shout out.
Oh, yeah.
He's at home on paternity leave with a brand new baby.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Shout
Charlie.
out to Charlie and Charlie Riggs.
Yeah.
But you get that little, you know, those little baits, then you get some more weight on there and actually get that rig down a little bit deeper. It's hard to keep those small baits, you know, keep them down in depth when you're trying to run an Alabama rig with a bunch of small stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be another place where you can use this thing.
Absolutely. But let's be real. Like, that's what people are buying it for right now, and that's where it's really going to shine.
Yep. So new tungsten offering from Dirty Jigs in all the great colors, great finishes, great powder coating, 3D eyes. I mean, already a phenomenal head, just making it a little bit better. Now you got a tungsten option.
I love Dirty Jigs.
I think everyone does.
And there's also the new Grass Wizard Flippin' Jig. I want to talk about it.
Yeah, if you,
we're not going to talk about
flipping
it.
sticks and braid, Grass Wizard Flippin' Jig.
Awesome.
All right, I think we're moving on to Geecrack.
Let's go.
I think we're breaking all the rules by filming in the walkway.
I hope we don't get escorted out of the building.
The ICAST police are going to get
us. So where are we at?
We're about a quarter of the way through, so we've knocked out the first 5. Oh no, we still got one over here. We got to go to Geecrack. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll figure out how to pronounce it.
And then we'll make a hot lap over here, but we're about a quarter of the way through, so stay with us.
When is lunch?
We got 4 more booths.
Oh man. All right, let's go.
All right, we're in the Geecrack booth.
Yeah.
And I mean, this company's kind of came on by storm, and they've got so much cool stuff.
And innovative stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so a couple new options in the bellows gill and the bellows stick, but now a new material, elastomer material. So super strong. And if you've ever fished these, you know they're so effective, but they're loaded with scent and salt, and you know, some guys they wanted something a little tougher.
Yeah.
For flipping into heavy cover and being able to go through the abuse of a few fish.
Sure. I've seen you get some bites behind me on that thing.
Oh yeah. Flip right behind you with this thing.
I can't stand that.
Yeah. These are really cool baits. If you haven't tried them out, I mean, there's so many things you can do with them.
Yeah.
You know, I've even seen Alton Jones Jr. put them on a spinner bait.
Right.
And it's a crazy profile, I've seen him catch a lot of big ones.
I mean, it's really not that crazy of a profile. No. I love bluegill baits, and I mean that looks just like the profile of a bluegill.
But now answering some of the requests from the customers, and if you can get that bait in a durable profile and just be able to just withstand some fish. So now they got it covered.
Sure.
With that, and in the stick as well.
And in the bellows stick. So really cool little worm. I mean, you could put this on a little jig head. Yep. You can fish this a lot of different ways. A little Nico rig.
And since it's that elastomer material, you're going to get it to float.
Yep.
So that tail will float up. So shaky heads, you know, the little guys, you can put them on like a Ned head.
Yep.
And they'll float up off the bottom. You won't have any problem with it like laying over and sinking and laying on the bottom.
Yep.
So it gets up off the bottom. So great shaky head worm.
And got that good Geecrack Fritos
yes.
stink. Smells like Fritos.
If you've ever fished them, you know what they smell like.
Yep.
And I mean, it triggers bites for sure. So they got those. And then another one on the backside, we're going to roll over here, Dan.
Come on, Dan.
Come on over here. So the new, the Q-bombs. So these are a totally unique category of bait. But I keep seeing more and more of them.
Yep.
And I believe Takuido just won a tournament using something similar
He
to that.
did. He caught a giant spot.
Yeah. So there's like a 6-pound spot. So there's more and more of these baits coming out on the market. Oh, there's one right there. And I mean, I'll be honest, I have not tried one yet, but I'm so intrigued with them because it's so different.
Yep.
And something to be fun to play around with on light spin and tackle.
Yep.
And I know a lot of them were developed for bed fishing, but we've obviously seen that they're highly effective outside of bed fishing.
Well, we've seen time and again that something just totally off the wall that the bass have never seen, especially in highly pressured situations, is going to get you a few extra bites. We're already seeing it. You know, this kind of bait win tournaments. So myself, I haven't tried this stuff yet. I want to. There's only so many hours in the day, so many days on the water. You
got to put down the 20-pound and flip and stick.
Yeah.
But it's something cool to try out. And I saw it successful last year, on lakes where you wouldn't expect it. Lake Fork in 10, 12, 15 feet of water, and guys fishing 5-pound at Lake Fork. Who does that? And catching 5 to 8 pound fish on weird little stuff like that. And it seems like that's a growing trend, and just more options now out there.
Yeah.
So more and more of these cube, dice, little ball style baits out there. So something cool. Definitely want to check them out. These are up for pre-order right now on tacklewarehouse.com.
Yeah, but hey, before we leave this booth,
I didn't even know about this till 30 seconds ago when he mentioned it.
I got all the surprises. Kyle, who is the buyer for Geecrack at Tackle Warehouse, has been working with Geecrack on a very special secret project that we should see in early 2025. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm super excited about it.
I don't even know what it is.
I think it's been 2 years in the making. We've kept you in the dark.
Yeah.
We kept everybody in the dark. So make sure you check back for that next year.
All right, we're moving on.
All right, let's go. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that.
Oh, me too? Oh, thanks,
That is so
man.
cool. Thank you. We really
this is the best thing I've gotten from the whole show.
Dude, I love that.
I know. This is badass. Oh, we got new bags from our buddies over here, Geecrack, and there's a couple little baits in there.
Do you know what I have? Do you know what I have hanging on the wall in my office? A Geecrack calendar. And that is one of the coolest things I got this year.
Thank you guys very much. We're super stoked.
Thank you, Geecrack.
All right. All right, so we're in the Lowrance booth, and we got a new Eagle Series not just transducer, the whole fish finder unit, but I know that from you telling me this is a hot deal.
This is a hot deal. I think a big barrier, obviously, for a lot of people for having forward-facing sonar, live sonar on their boat, is just the expense. I've had it for a long time, but that's not for everybody, right?
No.
We've seen the effectiveness, but sometimes putting $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 into a new graph, dedicated graph, black box transducer is a lot. So this is going to cause a big storm. This is a brand new Lowrance Eagle Eye 9, and it's a bundle that comes ready to go for forward-facing sonar on your boat, and it comes in at $999.
That's really cool. There's a transducer for it. So yeah, for $1,000 you can put forward-facing sonar on your boat. Which is great. There hasn't been any options like that until now. I mean, you were going to be invested in, like you said, $2,000 to $5,000, pretty much as the base of just getting into it. And we see guys obviously running $30,000 to $50,000 worth of graphs now. But just to get one on there, you were at an expense. But now for $1,000, you can outfit a boat. If you don't want to just jump all the way head first into it, I believe that's going to be a great option for people who just kind of want it and just want to play around with it.
You know what? I think there's going to be a big line to get these. So if you want one of these, you better get in line, pre-order them at tacklewarehouse.com. What you're not going to get from this is that HGS and Active Target 2 performance. But, this is a starter kit. This is going to get that on your boat, get you comfortable with the technology, and, this isn't a toy.
No.
This is an effective fishing tool.
And not everyone needs the most high-end, the highest performance graph. I mean, a few years ago, this probably was the most high performance technology that was out.
Absolutely.
But now, you know, there's been so many advancements. Lowrance is now offering this, you know, a unit with a transducer at a pretty affordable price point.
Yep.
You know, for a newer technology, now you're getting it in their new Eagle series.
And as you see, it's got the forward, but it's also got charting, 2D, down scan. It's got the down live.
Yeah.
So, you know, all the same features you would get in the standard Eagle series.
Yeah.
And let me just say, like, as a fishing fan and a fishing tackle fan,
Yeah.
I'm so stoked that the Eagle line is back. Like,
Yes.
that was set, we all grew up seeing the Eagle.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, one day I'm gonna get one of those Lowrance
I think there's
Eagles
old
on my
ones
boat.
in our office somewhere.
There is an
There's
old
an
one.
old ancient one, so that's how long it's
Yep.
been around. But so we're stoked that the Eagle series is back, and now the new live scope bundle or live sonar. I know I messed it up.
Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye.
There's a lot of brands to keep track of.
Facing sonar.
Yeah.
I don't have a boat to put one on, so I don't know.
One really cool product here from Lowrance. Can't wait to see the customer reaction. I think this is gonna get this technology on a lot more people's boats.
Oh, for sure.
And put a lot more fish in the boat for you. Check it out, tacklerouse.com.
Okay, we're in the Big Bite booth now, and we
are.
got a new worm.
Yeah, this is the brand new Nico Rama. I think this already has a tournament win under its belt.
I believe you are correct. So
Yeah.
I think there's a nice paycheck behind this one already.
Yeah.
So proven performer. So Nico rigging worm, but I mean, it's a straight tail worm. It's got that big tail on it. You can do a ton of stuff with it. But man, look at the little rings they put in there, Dan. For you can put your O-ring, and it holds it in place. Man, what a great little innovation that they put on there, just to make it more efficient and not so much of a pain for anglers.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a straight tail worm. How much thought can be put into that? Quite a bit, actually. You can see how they've tapered the tail there to get the maximum action.
Yeah, it's super thin down here before you get to that bulb on the top, so it's really going to help that thing move around a lot.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, for anybody that does any amount of finesse fishing, we've all seen how effective a Nico worm can be. And this is going to be a great addition that I think a lot of people are excited about.
Yep, Big Bite plastic, loaded with salt, and a great price point.
Bite juice.
Bite juice.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it.
Get it for your pre-order at tacklewarehouse.com.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right, let's keep moving on.
All right, we are here in the Yamamoto booth, and we are both very sad.
We're extremely sad
because there's a brand new 2.5-inch hula grub, and for West Coast guys, like, love a hula grub.
Yeah.
But we don't have a sample. We can't check it out.
Yeah.
But we do have some other great new shapes. You want to tell us about?
So one they've added to the lineup, 4-inch Fat Cinco. So they came out with the Fat Cinco a couple years ago. Now they're just adding more size to that lineup, but I think that 4-inch one is going to be the deal.
Yeah.
That smaller profile, but still, I mean, it has that bigger body on it. And then, of course, all the great Yamamoto colors that everyone loves. I mean, love being in the Yamamoto booth, seeing new stuff.
Sure, absolutely. Something we talked about yesterday with Tactical Bassin.
Yep.
The teeny tiny little covert craw. You know, this is a little craw that's going to pack a lot of action. It's going to go great on a little Ned head.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those guys were talking about fishing it on a weedless rig, Texas rig, but they're crazy. Don't listen to them.
Don't flip 7-pound into grass. Whatever they say, don't listen to them.
Yeah, so, but really cool little bite getter right there. You know, I think that's going to be awesome. And then I'm really excited about this.
I'm pumped about this one too, this new Nuki bug. So, I mean, one I noticed right out the bat is that body on that thing is dense. So it's heavy duty. And it is big enough and it's wide enough to really hold a big flipping hook, which I know is always something you're looking out for, is something that you're like, it's got to hold a 4-aught. You know, if it doesn't hold a 4-aught, I'm not using it. So it'll definitely hold a hook. And then those big claws on there, those same from one of their other craw baits, I forget the name of it, but those claws, they kick and they move a ton of water.
Yep. As excited about this stuff as I am, I'm hugely disappointed that we can't look at the 2.5-inch hula grub.
I'm super
ruined
bummed.
my ICAST.
Yeah, ICAST is over. There's no 2.5-inch hula grub.
Let's get out of
There's probably a bunch of guys like us that stole them all. That's probably where they all went.
Yeah, all right, let's get out of the Yamamoto booth.
See ya. So We're in the Rapala booth, and Joey's gonna ruin all my dreams because I know he's not gonna allow us to have these at Tackle Warehouse.
We're a bass fishing shop, but I would love to catch a bluefin tuna on one of these.
Yeah, these things look awesome.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about those.
Can't have any fun.
So we're here to talk about. Let's first and foremost, one of the biggest products. Highly anticipated releases. Yo, Wheeler, how much you won on this
how
thing?
much money you won on this far?
So I actually have won like two something on it.
$2
million?
Like 200 and no. So DC's won 400,000 on it. I've only won like 250 on it. So I gotta step my game up.
So there's
DC's been talking trash to me and saying it's his bait now.
So between the two of you, over $500,000.
Yeah, there's $600,000 in that bait.
Wow.
So,
For sure.
I think we've been billing this as the most highly anticipated bait release of ICAST 2024. I know a lot of people are excited about this. Do you want to tell us anything specific?
Yeah. I mean,
what do people need to know about this little guy?
I think it's the biggest thing is for me was just that unique tail. All right. So that was the whole key. Like, as you're developing baits, you're like, how can you reinvent the wheel and figure out, like, bass are going to eat shad and small minnows and perch minnows to wherever, from north to south, east to west, it does not matter. They're going to eat bait fish, right? Mm-hmm. So, but the key is like, when you look at a swim bait that has a pretty wide kick, most of them do. I wanted something that's super high frequency. When you look at a shad or a minnow or anything like that, they have a super high frequency kick. A lot of times it's not this big giant kick. And as you sort of like see how the bass interact with our baits more these days, I realized that kind of stuff makes a huge difference. They follow your baits a lot more than you ever realize. If you get 10 bites in a day, you probably had 100 bass follow and look at it. So those little subtle differences, and that's what we did with this bait, is adding that to it and a right profile, a good profile for any species of bass. I mean, even walleye, so many different things.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, giving it something a little bit unique. And the cool thing is, I can still have that bait rock like a freeloader, like shaking it, but I can also just reel it because those fish get used to that stuff. The other day I was fishing, and they got used to like where I'm shaking because everybody's shaking a minnow now, right? So now just having to be able to shake it and then get their attention and draw them to it, and now just reel it and having that little kick, I have two actions that I can roll with. And that was my mindset. You have a secondary action, you have a primary action. And that was really the main deal there. Of course, you wanted to have it as well for a drop shot. And one sneaky deal that I love it for is actually a net head. Bad little net head. Think about it. Like little minnows grabbing rocks, eating
rooting
little
around
things.
in the dirt. Yeah.
Like popping around on a net head, smash them.
I bet no one's trying that yet.
Well, they haven't. Not many people know
Just
that.
giving away your secrets.
I'm giving up the goods. I'm sorry. You guys,
You're never going to catch up to DC.
Well, that's why. See, I'm hoping DC doesn't watch this video, so I'm going to keep it all.
Yeah.
Just don't tell him, guys. Just don't tell, please.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
keep it off his feet.
So that is the brand new Crush City Mooch Minnow. We've been hearing about this thing for like 6 months, right?
Yes.
Seeing it. You guys have not been shy about letting it fly.
Yeah.
And it's already won a lot of money. Thanks for taking us through
Absolutely.
that. Do we want to let's kick this guy out.
I'm sorry.
Dude,
Get out of here.
dude,
Get out of here.
thanks for the cameo. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Willie.
it. All right, so we do have a bunch of other really cool stuff, right? I want to talk about this because
immediately excited.
we go to dinner with Rapala at ICAST every year, and it's not always a well-behaved affair. But this is something that I love. I love their culling scale.
Yeah.
I've been using it for years, but it needed an update, and finally it's here. They have the next generation of.
Yep, I believe, I don't know how many years it's been since I've been involved with helping cover your brands in ICAST, but usually your sign off is, Joey Reggio, please update the culling scale.
Please update the culling scale.
So it's been a long time request, and they finally got it. So
Yes.
we're stoked that they finally got new ones, and we've got a bunch of new baits to talk about.
Let's
as
talk
well.
about those.
So with soft bait still, with the Crush City stuff, they're just adding more shapes to the lineup. They got this new pig stick. So a soft stick bait, but man, tons of ribbing and different shapes on there. It's going to help catch a lot of water. But you know what I did notice? So between this new worm and the pig stick, that slot in the middle is actually made to hold those VMC crossover rings.
Right.
So those rings, they're whatever you call them, tubes, crossover tubes. They're just much more effective than the old school O-ring. So they don't tear up the plastic as much, and they just save a lot more baits. And now they got that slot on there, it's gonna hold it in place and not slide it around.
Yeah, really cool. A lot of thought put into to a couple of straight tail worms, right?
Yeah, more thought into straight tail worms, and then a new little craw creature bait. I'm screwing it up. I forgot the name of it. Jeff bought it, so he should know the name, but he's not here.
I'm sure it's an awesome name. What I like about it is that, these, let's call this a brush hog style bait, right?
Yeah. The hedgehog. That's the name
hedgehog.
of it. Yes.
So hedgehog. Our rep's standing right behind. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, help us out,
Craig.
Craig.
Come on. What do they pay you for? So what I love about this is it's still got plenty of body. This is a theme, right? Plenty of body to hold a nice hook.
Yep.
It's got a lot of action going on, but not an overwhelming amount of action for the size.
And it's not wide and giant, so it's going to be able to slip in and out really well.
Yeah.
So a nice bait for flipping. You can do tons of stuff with it. Wobblehead, my favorite.
Yep.
And then a couple new hard baits, and a couple I'm particularly stoked about. One, that new big OG crankbait.
The Rocco.
Yeah, the Rocco, the big Rocco.
Yeah.
So there was a smaller one that came out, I believe, last year or the year before, but now they got a bigger model. And I've just been a big fan of this whole series. Anything that Ott the Foe is tinkering with in the garage, because I'm sure he's probably made and broke off more crankbaits than I'll ever own in my lifetime.
He does know something about crankbaits.
Yeah, just, coming from someone who's spent an entire lifetime of being in the garage, carving crankbaits and finding out what works, what doesn't work, what he likes. Now a bigger model, and this is the one that I'm pumped about, having that big model.
Yep.
It's going to get you a tad deeper, but that higher buoyancy,
Yep.
hunt a lot better, deflect off cover better, and just that bigger profile. I can't wait till we get these in. I think we have one floating around the office that might have gone home with me at some point.
Oh yeah?
No, I got it here. We got it here.
I thought I got all the cool samples.
When you're not looking, I swoop stuff off the back shelf.
So the next generation, the next iteration of, how many decades now of Rapala excellence in build hard baits. Right?
Yeah,
so they know what they're doing.
And tons of classic Rapala colors.
Absolutely.
So they've been staples for years and years, and now something that's super exciting, and something that's kind of a new category.
Yeah.
Big giant topwater bait, and something that's gonna do something a little different than anything else in the Rapala lineup.
Right. Are you trying to come up with the name right now?
No, I know the name.
Okay, it's
the
the Jowler.
Yeah.
I thought you were buying time to
I wasn't buying time.
Craig's got the Jowler page up.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a really cool topwater. It's got that little cupped lip, so it's going to throw a lot of water. You can do a lot of stuff with this. We didn't really get into it when we were talking about this with tactical bassing yesterday, but Jeff was talking about the ability to fish this like some of those straight retrieve topwaters that we were talking about. He was really excited about that possibility.
I know they had a trip up at Clear Lake and they caught some big ones on it.
Yep.
And I didn't know about that, being able to do different actions with it, being able to reel it and get it to skirt across the surface.
Right.
And then be able to walk it at the same time. So.
I think like every Jeff trip, it was like, how was the fishing? It sucked. I caught a 7 and a 5 and a 6 and another 7.
Oh yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, only one to complain about 7-pounders.
Yeah, check out the Jowler. Check out all this great stuff. It's all available for pre-order, including that Mooch Minnow. The line for that one's gonna be long.
Yeah, so for sure jump on and get in line, because I'm sure we've already sold through the first 3 shipments that we're gonna get.
Yeah. Did you see Jacob Wheeler gave me a high five?
Yeah, he did.
That was cool. Let's go.
I've worth some money.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Here in St. Croix, in the St. Croix booth, got a couple, a new rod line and a new combo line.
Combos as well.
To talk about. Let me talk about this first. This is the new Black Bass series of rods. If you know anything about St. Croix, they know how to make excellent fishing rods, right?
Yep.
They're also big-time fishermen. So what you're gonna get here in the mid $100 price point is a serious line ready for any tournament application, from spinning, cranking, casting. Really, I would say understated and classic cosmetics here.
Yeah.
For guys that maybe don't want that Trigon handle that the Mojo has now, this is going to have really standard cosmetics.
Really classic round style EVA, kind of that dual composition with EVA and the little cork on the bottom. But but like we talked about yesterday, St. Croix, so deep in the actions with how many models they got. I mean, everything from 6'8" jerkbait rods to, I believe there's an 8-foot swimbait rod that's rated 4 to 8 ounces.
Yeah.
So they got the entire lineup. I mean, it's double-sided on this booth right here, how many rods they got in this lineup.
Yep.
And then also new GXR combos.
Yep.
So another phenomenal rod, and it comes with a 7 reel on it. So they came out with the 7 reels I believe last year.
Yep.
So a great reel, but I believe these come in about $210 is the price point on them. But I think what I was most pumped about is you're not just getting your regular old 7-foot medium heavy combo. They've actually got some models that are like, they got a reaction rod, they got an all-around rod, they got a frog and flip rod. So they got more combos that are outside the norm of what is typically offered in most combos, which I think is really, really cool.
And this goes back to being a company run by fishermen, right?
Yeah.
If you're a hardcore fisherman, you're not going to be happy with just one rod length and power. You got to have a variety, not just in your combos, but 20-something different models for any application.
And in multiple actions in the combo series. So really cool that they did that. We had casting and spinning. So just a wide variety of new stuff from St. Croix, all available right now for pre-order at tacklewarehouse.com.
Get it? Let's go.
We got one more before lunch. Let's go.
Oh yeah. We stopped off in the Hayabusa booth because there's some really cool terminal tackle. If you haven't checked out what Hayabusa has to offer, they've got so many cool little niche products.
These are super underrated.
Yeah.
And I've used the little drop shot hooks in a bunch of their products for years.
Yeah, one of my favorite light soft plastic EWG style hooks is a Hayabusa. They've just got, when you have really niche presentations that you're trying to make, sometimes Hayabusa has the solution. And they continue. So let's start with yet another
Jighead, your favorite.
Yet another Jighead, right? But this one has some really interesting characteristics. So this is made for we got one rigged with the Sakamata shad down here.
Yeah.
So it's made for a minnow. Some interesting stuff. Obviously, ultra sharp Hayabusa hook on there, but a single filament weed guard right there. So if you're throwing it through standing timber or brush or grass, right, you're gonna have a little bit of protection there. Also, you can see how high up that eye is mounted, and also that it's a horizontal line tie, and especially on a loop knot, that's gonna keep a lot of roll to that bait. So for guys that are looking for that freeloader or Sakamata, lots of roll, this head is going to provide that. It's also got a tied on little just single strand keeper. This is something that Jeff and I have been doing.
And I was going to say, we know a few guys in the office that are doing that themselves.
Doing that to tie keepers, it's a pain in the butt. So I'm glad that someone's doing it for me, because I hate rigging stuff. Yeah.
And then we've also got a new hover hook. So a lot of these hooks, made for the minnow type presentations. For those, it looks like a jig bolt hook, but man, they've got like all those little pieces of wire tied in there to really lock that plastic in there. And I feel like that's going to be the separation, to actually keep those plastics on there with all those different barbs going different directions.
Right.
So now, if you're looking for just the hook, if you're trying to do it, I guess the other way of scoping, when you put the hook in there and you add the little nail weight, but now they've got a premium hook option for you, and it's got that slick coating on it and super, super sharp.
I've been seeing so many cool Japanese riggings with drop downs with a little split shot on there. Stuff I'm never going to take the time to do, but some people will. And if you're just wanting a weightless, right? If you're fishing really, really shallow water, you can get that thing on a very slow retrieve. Guys are doing that with a like a flatworm, Maxent flatworm or something like that. So really cool, a lot of thought put into that little hook. The last thing we got here is the D-Striker head, type JHW, and that's Jighead Wacky. So we all remember the Jighead Wacky technique was a huge deal, like going on 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's certainly a technique that still catches a lot of them. I just saw an article the other day about a really high-level Bassmaster guy that is, that's one of his go-to techniques, fishing a Senko a little deeper with a jig head wacky. So really cool little single fiber weed guard, gonna get the job done. Obviously tungsten, you're gonna get the tiniest package possible to deliver that weight. Really cool stuff from Hayabusa.
Yep, for all the terminal tackle dorks like us, got new stuff that you definitely want to check out. Just like you said, fills all those little niches and gets stuff that solves problems.
Yep.
So really cool stuff from Hayabusa, available for pre-order right now on Tackle Warehouse.
Hey Jake, is it time for my lunch break now?
It is lunch break time.
Yes, let's go. Jakey, about to win lunch. I don't know.
Over here.
Oh, there he is.
What did Dan get?
All right, here's a question, Jake. Who wins lunch?
Yeah, everyone doesn't know that we have a nightly text group of who wins dinner, and Joey's often the king of that one.
We love to eat, and I love to eat good food, but I'm also an all-American boy.
Yes.
And so I'm going with a hot dog today. What you got?
I went with pork sliders, so let us know in the comments who wins lunch.
Oh yeah, we need to know. Me.
You. All right, as Joey dresses up his dogs, we're going over the schedule. We got 4 more booths to go. So we're gonna hit Z-Man, and then we're gonna go over by the Strike King Lou's booth, hit our buddies over at Daiwa, and then we got the Pradco booth, which is, I think we're going to see Great Lakes Finesse guys over there.
Oh, that stuff's cool.
There is some really cool stuff. I believe some other brands as well. So we're gonna wrap up right there for our walk around of ICAST 2024.
Awesome, we gotta hurry because I got meetings starting at 1 o'clock.
He's gonna be behind.
We got a boogie.
All right.
Ah. Man, my blood sugar was getting a little low. I needed that hot dog to keep me rolling.
Oh, I think we won the speed lunch challenge.
We do have too much to cover.
It didn't help that we scheduled Z-Man on the complete opposite side of the show floor, all the way to the other side. But we walked it off
premium
a little bit.
Nathan's all-American hot dog calories off for me.
But we got some cool stuff here.
We do have some really great stuff from Z-Man. Let's just start with one of my favorite baits, the chatterbait. Tungsten Evo. So the new Evo came out last year. This is the tungsten version. If you haven't thrown the original Evo, a little bit different than, say, a jackhammer. Really a similar bait, but if you're a connoisseur of vibrating jigs, this thing just dumps a little harder, a little different look for fish that have seen hundreds of thousands of jackhammers, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go on the deck of 10 boats with chatterbaits tied on, I bet 9 out of 10 have a jackhammer tied on.
Oh yeah, all year. So pairs beautifully with this brand new Z-Man ChatterShad, right?
Yep, big fan of that. I just like how the Chatter Spike came out and it was a pin tail, and now you just got something with that wide shad style tail on it. Pushes a little more water, but I just like the profile of it. I think it has a better profile. Looks more like a bait fish.
Yeah, really, really cool. Great combination. That's the brand new Chatterbait Evo Tungsten, along with the ChatterShad. And then what do you got here?
We got the new Shadtron Swimbait. So swimming this thing around, it looks awesome in the water. So it's cool that Z-Man has the tank in here to really swim these things around. It's got phenomenal action. And so this is the bigger of the two. It's 6 or 6.5 inch, and then there's also a small one too, which I think is really, really cool. Nice shad profile. The colors on these are amazing, and you can just see the swimming action. Super subtle, realistic shad action. But then it's got a line through. I'm probably gonna stab myself with this thing.
Let me hold your rod so you don't hurt yourself.
All right, there we go. And it's got the line through on there. So a phenomenal system. Got a single jig hook on there. Really pins fish, and then that swim bait slides up the line, and just eliminates that leverage for fish still in the bait. So significantly increase that landing ratio, which could often be sometimes frustrating with big baits. If you've ever done it for more than a day, you hook them on a jig hook bait, you're going to lose some.
Sure.
But that's going to help you land a few more.
Really cool. I remember sitting here last year in our meeting with Z-Man and saying, wow, that mulletron's awesome. Can you make it in anything but a mullet?
Yeah.
So really happy to see that. Love that jig hook line through design.
Yep.
Super excited to get that one out on the water.
And then,
what do you know?
Another minnow.
A Jighead minnow. This one's a little different though. We talked about this yesterday with Tactical Bassin. This is a line through design, right? So you can see where the line goes through the head and the minnow are made to pair together. The line goes through and ties on the bottom there, and what that's going to give you is a very upright presentation when you're jiggling that minnow.
Yeah. No matter
there.
if you're doing a vertical presentation or if you're casting 2 fish on your live scope.
Right.
So it keeps that profile, but man, that thing's got some great, natural action. And the way they've seamed everything together with the soft plastic and a jig head, it just gives it a phenomenal profile.
Right.
And gives it that really essence of a small threadfin shad.
That's awesome. This is going to be a bite getter and definitely something different than what we're seeing for the majority of the products in this category. All this stuff available for pre-order.
Available for pre-order right now, for sure. And I believe we got a few more booths before you got meetings. So
let's
we got
go,
hustle.
man. Let's go. I'm taking this.
Yeah, I'm taking this one too. Hey, we made it over to the Lose booth. We've got some really cool stuff, new Custom Pro Gen 2s. And what do you got over there?
I got LFS rods. Let's talk about these first. I mean, the first thing to talk about is a really striking and unique color on these, right?
The colorway on these is awesome. I think it's kind of separates themselves out there with all the different reels that are on the market. You don't see that color pattern on there. These things look sweet.
Yep. Well, let's talk about this one a little bit first.
So on this one, I know this new Custom Pro, I haven't gotten a rundown from the engineer on how it works, but I know they have a totally new braking system.
Yep.
It's called like inertia to ITB. It was like...
You nailed it.
Yeah, something like that. But it's like an inertia-driven braking system so that they're able to... From what I read, is they're able to accomplish braking system that doesn't use any brakes or electronics, brake shoes, and pretty much eliminates backlash.
Yep.
I think I saw a video with KVD just throwing a cast and not holding it.
Who?
Just the man himself, KVD.
Oh, KVD.
Maybe we can find him around here.
Yeah.
But be able to throw a cast and not even have to thumb the spool.
Yeah.
And
I saw that video as well.
And it takes care of it, but he's got some wizardry that none of us else has, so it probably doesn't matter what you put in this thing, he'd cast it.
We got a sneak peek of the braking system here about a year and a half ago, and there was no working sample, and there was no video. You could tell the engineering team was really excited about it, but all they could do was tell us how great it was at this point. Now we've seen it in action. We know what this thing can do.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of those anti-backlash technologies, but this is really something different.
Yeah, it's really cool. Lose is getting into the program with some of those technologies that really just make it better for anglers. You're making it simpler, making it easier to fish, just less frustration. And the conditions aren't always the same. Every once in a while, 20-mile-an-hour gust of wind blows, right when you're making a cast and completely blow a spool out. But technologies like that really make it easier for us anglers. I think we have a Lose guy
Who is that
around.
over there? Is that Tackle Warehouse and Lose Pro, Mr. Mark Menendez?
He's just hiding over
hey!
there.
How you doing, man? Good to
What's
see
going on,
you.
Mark?
Good to see you.
You're going to stick around to the back and act like we don't see you back there?
Yeah, I've got to. Just be incognito.
Just lurking.
Absolutely.
We know your deal. Can you tell us about this brand new spinning reel?
The Custom Pro Series, light, fast, unbelievable. The tolerances in both the spinning reel and the casting reel are so tight. They're so smooth. It's an amazing, amazing reel. The casting reel may be the longest throwing reel we've ever built at Lose. Fished with it the other day with a 5XD and a cranking rod and was throwing it so far with such little effort. It was absolutely amazing. I'm really, really impressed with them.
Yeah, really cool. Striking cosmetics, we noted that too. We're both excited to get one of these on the water and check them out. Glad you have gotten that chance yourself. And some really cool Kind of a departure from a lot of the recent Lose cosmetics. This is a brand new LFS rods. Tell us all about these.
They're absolutely gorgeous. It has this real unique cobalt blue in it.
Beautiful.
Technique specific, basically, with all the best actions. Very simplistic designs as far as reel seats, the guides, everything about them is spot on.
Awesome. Beautiful. A whole bunch of actions in both the spinning and casting.
A ton of rods.
You can be able to outfit yourself. And for those guys like myself who really like the traditional cosmetics, that's really speaking to me.
It really is. I love the cosmetics on it, but it's the actions that I really like as well. The 7-foot medium heavy casting is a super accurate rod where you can place a bait next to cover really easy. And then if you're out there pinging a minnow, you can do the same thing with the spinner rods.
Guys got it all covered.
I thought we were going to get through this segment without pinging a minnow. I have one last pressing question. What'd you have for lunch?
I actually had a Greek gyro bowl.
Ooh, you were going to go for that.
Yeah, we were going to go. The line was
Should've.
too long. You
Should've.
got that.
He had a pulled pork sandwich. I had a hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have
Did
won
you win
lunch.
the contest, the hot dog contest?
I ate one hot dog faster than any other human has ever eaten.
1 for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
the,
right.
one speed record.
Yeah, that's it from the Lose booth.
All right, all this stuff is up for pre-order right now on tacklehouse.com.
Thanks so much, man.
You're welcome.
Okay, moved right over to the Strike King booth right next door, and I think we got a few that both of us are pretty excited about.
I'm pretty excited about it. I saw all this stuff late last year, and I have been hounding these guys for personal samples for me so I can have the edge, because there's some really, really fun stuff here.
Yep.
Let's start with an oldie but a goodie that's coming back.
Yep, I still have some.
You still have some?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any of these left.
Oh yeah, I got some.
So this is the Wake Shad, right?
Yep.
And this is something that it's a Wake Shad 2.0.
2.0.
Right? So the Wake Shad, early to mid 2000s, was out, didn't really get picked up. Guys were quietly fishing it.
Yep.
And then it attained this cult following where people are selling them on eBay.
After it was discontinued.
After it was discontinued.
Because I remember there being piles of them that we couldn't even give them away.
Nobody wanted them. But
Yeah.
here's the 2.0, the year 2024, it's back. People are stoked. Some really, really cool color patterns. I mean, I love that one in the sun.
Now you don't have to go on eBay and spend $100 on one anymore.
Yep. So really glad to have the Wake Shad back. I know a lot of people are. There's some people that are going to be happy it's back.
Some people are going to be real mad.
Some people that are going to be real mad. So that's the brand new Wake Shad. Also, another hard bait that I'm very excited about. This is a hardliner crankbait.
Yep.
Yeah. And so
I mean,
Go for it.
we've seen the sample on this, and we saw it in the Best of Show preview this morning. And literally, the sample that we have, it doesn't have any hooks on it.
Yep.
I don't even think it's the last production model. It's
Yep.
just like a mold of the bait.
I don't think this one is because it's got an open eye on it.
Yep.
It's beautiful, but I don't think this is final production.
Yeah. So they should be here. They're up for pre-order right now, and when we get them in stock, you'll be able to get them.
Yep. So what I love about this, that one has a little knock to it. This one's silent.
You can see the chamber in that thing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's actually supposed to rattle or if they're doing two. Anyway, this size, flat side, beautiful paint jobs. They're saying they can get this bait down to about 7 feet on 12-pound test.
That's impressive for a crank that size, and you wouldn't assume that with that size bill on there.
Nope. And with the circuit board lip they put on this, increased durability compared to the competition.
Yep.
I break a lot of crankbaits, slapping grass off. So looking forward to getting this one in my boat, and really some gorgeous colors.
I
Like
mean,
if you look at the selection, this
Yeah.
looks like custom painted stuff.
The two that we pulled off right there, I mean, those doesn't look like anything else in the Strike King lineup. And
Yep.
there are some really, really sweet colors. And then that one is the one I'm most pumped about.
I missed the boat personally on the Ridgetail Shad. You didn't.
No, oh no.
That's one of your favorite baits. For me, it was always just a little too snack sized. You had to move it a little too fast. I'm really excited to get this guy in. It's the new Rage Buzz Minnow.
Yeah.
A big hunk of heavy plastic to throw that thing a
Yep.
long way. A big flat planing surface on the surface, and then this big Rage tail that, we've all heard that blah, 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 blah. It sounds like a whopper plopper in the water.
But you can throw it through anything. It's
Throw it
it's
through everything.
phenomenal. And That bait right there has solved all the issues that I've had with like the Rage Toad or like the Rage Tail Shad.
Yeah.
You know, the Rage Shad does, it doesn't cast the greatest because it's flat.
Yeah.
And you could tear them up and it didn't hold the hook as well, but they've solved all those issues. And obviously someone else at the office was using it and probably had the same complaints I did. And it's like, hey, we can make some tweaks and make this thing better. So
really cool.
That's the one I'm most pumped about. Actually, me, Kyle, and TK are fighting over the 3 samples of who gets what color.
Like not 3 bags of samples,
no,
like
3 individual
samples. One other thing while we're, we obviously both love this thing. You fit a giant hook. Look how long the body is.
You put a 6-aught in there.
You could probably put a 6. I was thinking maybe a 6-aught. So you're going to be able to put a straight up gaff in the front of this thing, and that's going to put some really big fish in the boat for you. Can't wait to get a nice little care package to my house.
So we'll get back to the office and we'll continue to fight over the 3 individual ones.
The 3 samples.
And then
kind of way different category of product.
Not a braided line top water bait going to a nice little underspin. So they've taken a new approach to underspin, and I don't know how they're getting that thing in there and who's doing it and doing the work, but the fluoro underspin. So there's a tiny piece of fluorocarbon, holding that little underspin blade on there, and it's just gonna. One, it's a little more stealthy, but the other thing that someone told me that I'd never thought about is, some underspins have that big giant wire on there, and to hold the blade, and it's so obtrusive, and especially for smallmouth fishing or spotted bass fishing, they go up and they try to grab it, and it turns that whole thing in their mouth, and they can't get the hook. That never occurred to me.
Yeah.
And just having that blade to be able to flex, it's going to increase your hookup ratio.
Right.
And I never thought about that.
So, I know you're an underspin fan.
Oh, yeah.
The little backstory on this bait was this was being handmade, I believe, in northern Michigan or even southern Canada. Anyway, somewhere up in the northern United States, by a different company.
Okay.
And I think I got this story right. A pack or a few packs or a few heads, something like that, were handed to Mark Zona. And it was one of those things like, hey, trust me, just go fish this. And it flat out outfished his standard underspin, like by a factor of many. And so he was keeping this really quiet. I think he got a couple to Hackney. Hackney had a great finish on it. And I think we'd both say that this isn't necessarily Hackney's wheelhouse.
No.
At least not what he's known for. So Striking went and licensed this design. And is working with the company to get this made, and I'm really excited to get this out and give it a shot.
Yeah, as an underspin enthusiast, any kind of new underspin, I'm gonna try it, and that's something that's totally out there, or not out there, but totally unique in that category.
Yep.
And I can't wait for us to get a few so we can try them out.
Really cool too. A lot of thought gone into that keeper.
Yep.
Keep your baits pegged on there. Just a really little snack size thing with a lot of weight on there, so you're going to be able to fish that down.
Yep, and right before this, you just handed me a bag with a jig in it, and you said, just be ready for this. I was like, what are you talking about?
You said, what is that? And I said, don't worry about that.
Yeah, and so I have no idea what this is.
Well, don't show this too much. It's a secret.
All right, fine.
So the story is that about a year and a half ago, Jeff and I were on a trip with Strike King to Texas, and we started saying, oh man, we love this jig, we love this flipping jig, but, and who could make a better flipping jig than Andy Morgan, right?
Yeah.
So from the lake, we got on the phone with Andy Morgan, we're like, dude, do you want to make a jig with Tackle Warehouse? And he was like, absolutely. So this has been a year and a half of development with Andy Morgan.
How many of these samples do you got laying around?
I got none. This is the first time I've seen a finished one. Dude, Dan, pan back on that thing. Don't zoom in.
Hey, you gotta put the blur over it.
We don't have an ETA for these. They're not available for pre-order, but they're coming. And if there's ever been anybody to design a jig, I just love how much you're gonna be able to trim that skirt back, get a finesse little presentation on a nice pitching and flipping jig with a beefy hook on there. This is going to be a definite winner.
And if it's got Andy Morgan's name on it. I know I don't need to mess with it.
You don't need to mess with it. You might need to trim that skirt a little bit, but that's for you to do
But
at your discretion.
head shape, and so we'll see it soon.
Yeah, we will see it soon. That's the brand new, yet to be named
Jig.
Strike King Jig.
A jig
Check it out.
is coming at
So,
some time.
Really cool stuff from Strike King. But you know what? We've gone a little too long. We're
Yep.
both enthusiastic young lads about all this fishing tackle.
We like fishing stuff.
And I got a meeting. So
Joey's
I gotta
got a meeting.
go.
I'm kicking Joey out.
So you're gonna finish
give me
this.
give me the microphone.
No, give me the jig and
No,
I'll
I'm
give you the
taking
microphone.
that one.
That's
I'm of course
BS.
taking that one.
I'll give you the mic.
So he's got a meeting. We're taking his microphone. We got a couple more booths to wrap up this ICAST overview, and hopefully I don't crash the car here on the last two.
Yeah.
When Joey's off at his meeting. But
I'm all tied up.
yeah, you got it. Come on, man. We're on a time
I'm
crunch.
ruining the segment right now.
You are ruining the segment.
Here's my mic.
All right, there we
I'll
go.
steal that jig back. There's some trash.
All right,
See
we'll
you
see you guys at the next booth. All right, so now we're in the Daiwa booth. We lost Joey, but I think we got some better guys. He's getting mad about that.
He's lost it. Is that a bad thing? Come
Hey,
on.
so we got our buddy Mark Mills and longtime Tackle Warehouse pro Cody Meyer just happened to walk by.
Yes, I had to jump in. This is definitely an upgrade.
Yeah.
Love Joey, but we're here.
Yeah, we got the real guys, the real Daiwa guys. We want the real rundown. So,
All right.
So Daiwa, you guys came out with the new Tatula 100 and 150. They're right here
SV,
behind
yep.
us. So we got that guy, the
This is the
150.
150.
And then we got the 100. We got some travel on the rods there, or the
Yes.
lines. So give us a little rundown on these reels there, Mark.
Well, I don't even know how to cast a bait caster. No, I'm lying, guys. I'd love to say that. So this is the new Tatula SV 150. It's a
Yep.
little bit larger.
Yep.
It's got our whole hyperdrive housing in it, hyperdrive gearing in it, dual support pinion gear.
Yep.
But what we've done on this is this has our standard SV spool.
Yep.
Cody's going to go through the 100, which has the SV boost. But what this does, it's a little bit bigger because it's a 150 size. A little bit better for larger baits.
Yep.
A little bit better for heavier baits. It does really well with braided line. It'll cast monofilament. It'll
Yeah,
cast
sure.
fluorocarbon. But it's a little bit bigger for that, and it gives it better performance for the larger baits. When it comes to that.
And if you guys want a full, in-depth rundown on this stuff, we did get to film an interview with you guys. You're gracious enough to come
Yeah,
down
that
to
was
Tackle
super
Warehouse.
fun. That was a great
It
trip.
was a great time. We got to do in-depth rundown on the reels with R&D to get the real inside scoop of all the little nitty-gritty technologies and how all that stuff works and how they're designed and the reasons behind it. Then we also got the Tatula 100. Cody, have you got to use this yet?
I have, yeah. This thing is awesome. And just like Mark said, though, going back to the 150, I felt like that was a big deal with the braided line to have more capacity. But this 100 is awesome. It's got the SV boost in there. And what that's going to do, you guys, when you guys go to cast, it's going to help eliminate a backlash, and it's going to give you that distance. So it's going to release a little bit. You're going to get that maximum distance. That's a big deal, getting a long cast out of there without a backlash. Very compact reel. I love how you can put your thumb on there. You got that thumb rest. I feel like this makes the reel a lot more sensitive. Just full contact with your hand on the reel. The ergonomics of it's great. It feels really good. It's comfortable. And again, the SV boost, you can get that really long cast out there. Same great stuff like Mark mentioned. You got the T-Wing, the Mag Force, the hyperdrive system in here, and this thing's
A lot of this technology trickled down from the Zillion.
Yeah.
As we do, it's kind of a trickle down effect, and we trickled it down to the Zillion when we did the SV boost into that, which really makes a big thing. All these have our standard T-Wing system in it and zero adjust.
Yep.
Just great product, no doubt about it.
What you mentioned on the little thumb rest on there, that was on the last Zillion, and that was probably my favorite feature of it. You wouldn't think that little spot on the frame there makes such a big difference, but it's like you put it in your hand, you're like, oh man, this is so comfortable.
When you're like Cody and you're fishing, 10, 11, 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
every little thing counts on
Yep.
that. And we really look into that, the palmability and everything.
And then last up, we got a new Samurai 8 braid. And I know when we went and did this one, when you guys came down to the warehouse, you guys, we had a drive-by. So when you guys came down to the warehouse, you didn't even actually have one with us. We had to cut it in. We're like, hey, edit this in post, put it in there. But you guys actually got it.
Production's always fun, but we have the new 8 carrier. It's an 8 carrier Samurai Daiwa braid. Very smooth, very thin, very light. It actually is woven at a really light angle, so it's very supple.
Yep.
Very good for casting bait out of Izanas, which is a very smooth, strong. It holds its color very well. Really designed for the bass market.
Really cool new braid to add to the Daiwa lineup.
Yep.
All right, so all this stuff is available right now for pre-order on Tackle Warehouse. It was actually up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you guys are quick.
If you guys were paying attention, it was been available for a little bit. But thank you, Mark and Cody, for taking the time to give us a rundown on some of the new products from Daiwa. And then we need to head on to the next booth.
Jacob, thank you, and Tackle Warehouse. Appreciate it, buddy.
Okay, from X-Braid, new company of braid that we actually brought into Tackle Warehouse. We've got a bunch of different models. We've actually got a little sneak peek of this with our buddy Mark Mills, and they've got a few different offerings. The X8, it's an 8 carrier braid, really smooth, but they've got some couple other options. They have the SS112 sinking braid, which I'm super pumped about. So just another offering in the sinking braid category. I love seeing that category grow and just giving us more options for sinking braid. There's so many great benefits to it. There's also a new Finesse braid. We did get a little sneak peek of that this morning. It's so smooth and crazy thin diameter. So if you're checking out braids, you want to check out that Finesse one and maybe compare it to some of the other ones, maybe your favorite on the market, and check out the line diameters. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised at how thin that stuff and how well it's going to perform in Finesse applications. So if you're interested, check out some new braid. You can check out the X8 at tacklewarehouse.com. And I believe we got one more booth left here in this segment, so let's head on over to that one. All right, we're at the last booth. We're at the Great Lakes Finesse booth. Look who we ran into. Mr. Jason Christie, classic champion. Man, what a hammer. And look at the stuff that we got here. We got this new Great Lakes Finesse hover minnow. I've actually seen this quite a few times during this show. And this thing is pretty cool, the way they designed this. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's just, it's a smaller profile for one, but the big difference is the bottom, the V shape.
Yep.
So whenever you're hovering this thing, it's going to have a little bit different action. The going thing when you're out there scoping is to try to hit them on the head.
Yep.
They're seeing so many baits now that just come down. Well, when this thing comes down, it kind of comes down like the old tube. It kind of spirals, kind of that natural action. That's a big difference. The heads, we offer a lot of different sizes of heads that match the bait. I mean, it's getting now where I don't even want to throw a shiny head.
No, and the way you guys shape that, I mean, it's so seamless the way it goes together. It looks phenomenal. And they were just showing me the two different heads. So you got the two different line ties. So you got one that's made for your more straight up and down fishing, and then one for casting.
Right. And that's just a pull point, a preference, whichever one you like the most, depending on what application you're using. But it's good that we offer both because, if I'm going up there to St. Lawrence, I may have the same bait with two different heads on two. You know what I mean? I'm casting one, bringing it in. The other one, I'm hovering it, and I may drop. So
yeah, because you guys, you got both those graphs on, and you're watching it. And if you got a bait out there, at the end of the cast, and you want to wind up, you got to have that next one ready to go straight down when you need it.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool from Great Lakes Finesse. And then they got the little stealth football head, which is the first time I'm seeing it, and that's going to be really, there's a bunch of stuff you can do with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no limit on applications. The first thing I see is sometimes you get in a situation when you want to use a Ned, or you're in deeper water than what you need, or you're in a lot of current, and just the football head, just adding a little more weight. And one thing that you'll see about a football head is it tends to stand the bait up a little more than another one.
It's like a regular old football jig.
Right. So it's really cool, and I just got my hands on some a couple of weeks ago and made a trip up north.
And I think,
nice.
How many tournaments you got left up north? You got to come.
I have 2.
Yeah, so I bet you guys are pretty pumped that you got your hands on that before you got that trip. So good luck to you up there. I know those are always just so fun to watch because who doesn't like to watch, 20, 25 pound bags of smallmouth getting caught?
It's fun to watch. It's hard to compete in those events.
Yeah, it doesn't, as a competitor standpoint, when the cut line is 22 pounds, it does not, it's probably a blast out there, but I bet it could be pretty stressful. Right. So I think that's going to wrap up our ICAST overview. Jason, thanks for taking the time to talk to us about this stuff. And that's going to conclude this whole segment. If you guys like doing this stuff, put a comment down below. What else you want to see from the 2024 ICAST show? And pretty much everything that we talked about, besides a few of the sneak peeks, are all available for pre-order at tacklewarehouse.com.